We're here at the 2017 Aussie Open in Mundaring, just outside of Perth, Australia. I'm your host, Avery Jenkins. Alongside me, the always colorful Gregg Barsby. G'day, mate.
How you doing, Avery?
Regular voice. He was doing Aussie voice all week. So we're here, watching the front nine, round three, top four players. We got Manabu Kajiyama, Paul McBeth, Eagle McMahon, and Ricky Wysocki. Now they shot some incredible rounds yesterday, course record rounds by Ricky Wysocki with a 17 under par.
Gotta give a shout out to Rick. That was awesome.
And Eagle, no slouch, finished with a 16.
All these guys are playing really well. Just seems like Rick and Eagle have separated themselves, especially after that round yesterday. That's phenomenal golf by both of them.
Hole number one, 225 meters, 738 feet. Downhill, par four, OB everywhere. Right, left, long, on the green. A very diabolical hole to start a round.
Yeah, depending on what the wind's doing here, it could change the disc that you throw. It could be 2 or 3 different molds. You know, it seemed like today was kind of a side tailwind, if I remember correctly.
Now here's a Colorado blaster throwing a big tee shot out wide right. Looks like he's trying to drive the green.
Yeah, why not with that distance? If you're throwing a disc and it's working right and coming back to the left, there's no reason with his distance. I think that's a great play just to smash it down there. Even if he does go out of bounds, he's still looking at getting a par. And if he lands safe, easy bird.
It looks like Rick, is that a mid-range disc? Looks kind of slow, throwing it low. Just trying to put it in play.
That's a solid play. He's not taking any risks there, and Rick's got his heart pretty dialed, so I think that he's going to be fine with a 3.
So what's your play on this personally? Are you taking a fairway driver? Are you taking a distance driver? What's your play on hole one?
Today I took the boss, just because the wind was back and from the left, so a little more carry. First 2 rounds I played the CD2, nice and smooth down the center, and played it low. A little bit shorter than where Paul just threw his.
That's a beautiful shot.
That is. It's a tough. It's not as easy as it maybe looks over there to the right. There's not as much of a gap to get in, but you could probably squeeze an upshot in there. And with the ground playing really fast, you can also play the skip here.
Here's Manabu Kajiyama from Japan. I said earlier in the week, pound for pound, maybe one of the longest throwers in the world. And he's very smooth with the release.
I don't know what happened there. That was uncharacteristic.
Yeah, miscalculation on the angle, maybe trying to read the wind. Doesn't look too windy up top, but it could have affected it down the fairway. Hitting a tree, staying in bounds, fortunately, with a long second shot to the green.
Playing it wide. He's hoping for the ground play here. It gets a little thick right in this section. It's not as hard packed. That's most likely going to be a 4.
So Rick with the tee shot mid-range, just trying to get a nice straight look at the basket, and an easy, very routine upshot on the green for a green hit.
Like I said, you squeeze one through there to the right, play a little skid on the ground. Paul looks like he got onto the bullseye, just barely. Easy 3.
A lot easier than expected, especially getting caught over on the right side with all those trees, but there's a lot of gaps, a lot of openings through those.
That looked really tough for Eagle. Did you see that? That was such a hard approach shot for him.
He's been making all these holes look easy throughout the week.
No doubt. Rick could probably putt that with his eyes closed, but it looks like he kept his eyes open for that one.
So as our players clean up here, you see a little crosswind, wind picking up just a bit. The big factor today, though, and it has been for the last 3 days, is the heat. Extreme heat right now. You can't really tell, but it's 105 degrees and cooking.
Yeah, it continues to get warmer through the rounds. I think the lead card tees at 11:30 or 11:40. So right around the middle of the course, it's starting to really cook.
hole number 2, 200 meters, 656 feet, a par 4, a slight downhill, then an uphill finish with the pin tucked to the right side. OB everywhere again. On this first tee shot, you see these players been playing it all week. No one really playing the aggressive line trying to clear the OB creek, but more like just a layup shot, just trying to set up a second shot to the basket.
There's not much to really go for in the sense of this hole. The big drives aren't really going to get you a close enough look to get a 2 unless it's a toss in, and there's just too much danger. So these guys, being the professionals they are, they're playing this one smart. Play it down the pipe, play the approach, and just looking for a 3.
Looks like mid-range is the disc of choice on this shot. Just trying to lay it up the middle, keep it safe. Manabu looking to bounce back. The only par on hole 1. Rick, Eagle, and McBeth all scoring birdies.
It's looking a little left. No, that's checking out. Those are 4 fine shots right there. Those will all play. Eagle looks like he's taking the flick. Can play it a little wider. There's a lot of ground play out here with how dry it is and how hard pack it is. I'm surprised that didn't go further. It didn't jump off the ground like I expected it to.
Yeah, it really depends on the angle, as you see out here with the fast greens and fast fairways. If it's hitting with a bunch of angle, it digs. But if it comes in flat or slight angle, things skips like 80 to 100 feet.
Yeah, I've even noticed just through the week, as players are playing the course and it's starting to get a little worn in, you're seeing a lot of discs land in maybe the same area. The first practice round I played, it seemed like it was quicker than it was maybe today. You don't see courses change all the time like that. This one seems to be getting beat in. It's getting a lot of play this week. Eagle said he played 7 practice rounds.
7 practice rounds.
I'm sure he put a few out there. Paul, outside the circle, it looked like that.
Huge putt.
Clean.
Early in the round, hole number 2, dead center, outside the circle.
Super clean. Typical Paul style. Now here's Manabu.
Nice little tap in from about 6-8 meters away.
He's so methodical. You know, you watch him play, and he doesn't necessarily do anything like spectacular, or somebody might not remark on any specific part of his game. But the fact is that he has a really solid, well-rounded game. So that's what's keeping him up near the leaders.
He goes through the motions and gets work done. Nothing spectacular, but he goes out there and scores really, really well.
And I think people forget that Manabu's played with all the best players for a long time. He's had really good finishes at major championships. I think, you know, he battled with Climo, so he's been around the block a few times. He's been in these situations, and he knows how to play on the lead card, certainly.
Hole number 3, 115 meters, 377 feet, a slight uphill, not a whole lot of danger except for the green, the golf green, short left of the basket, and it gets a little quick once you get up near.
I'm sure this is very easy for Eagle and Rick. They're tall. It doesn't look that uphill. This hole plays uphill a fair bit. Eagle looked like he might have got away with one there, just kind of hugged that tree, but that's setting up pretty nice. And the OB is pretty forgiving on the right, so that's a good play.
So with this distance here, 377, probably playing close to high 3, maybe 400 feet, do you have enough sidearm to get up on this shot? Are you taking the sidearm on the shot?
I have. I've played it unsuccessfully the last 2 rounds, but I think I do have the D to get there, but just haven't got it done. This is definitely a smash, though. That's pushing 90% sidearm. It's a crush. And I wouldn't be putting it up in the air as much as I'm trying to maybe keep it low, but then you're dealing with the green and the edge of the green as well, which could get in the way. This hole is being made look pretty easy right now by the top 3. I don't know how many more birdies there are on this hole besides this group.
Manabu leaving it short on the drive, giving it a valiant effort outside the circle and off the top. And then Paul center. Again, that's outside the circle. He said he went the first couple putts outside, and there's a nice dagger outside the circle. Big putt, birdie on hole number 3.
Rickster. One of Rick's best traits as a golfer is just having awesome balance and really transferring his weight on his putting. I think that's one thing that he's mastered in the last few years. He really, I believe he's the best putter right now that was uncharacteristic as well. Eagle's been playing great and putting like a machine, so I didn't expect that.
Hole number 3, 2 birdies by Ricky and Paul. Eagle and Manabu both cutting pars. Hole number 4, 150 meters, 492 feet. A very short par 4, but it is a par 4 trying to throw through the initial gap out of the woods into the open and then back into the woods. You get a variety of gaps, either a left or a right once you get down these corridors, but a challenging par 4 nonetheless.
I think that this hole is a par 4 just for the sake of the angle off the tee box. To play this hole aggressive means that you're really bringing the inside tree directly off the tee box into play. And it's just hard to throw a hyzer flip inside out and be able to stand one through the gap, as Paul does basically what I'm talking about. Notice his even gets a little left and finds some shrubbery. It's a hard one to stand your disc up through.
Now, Eagle's been taking the forehand shot, which is much different than a lot of players I've seen play this hole, because he's trying to get that angle and maybe that little flex back in the gap down the fairway.
Yeah, I was talking to Pasi Koivu about the same thing. He asked if I was throwing it, and honestly, it didn't cross my mind. But I think it could be the most aggressive play, and if you hit it, you could probably get the furthest down the fairway. Whoa, that looked like one of my shots there.
Yeah, Eagle scrambled and got caught back at the beginning of the fairway into the woods and goes forehand into a tree early.
Manabu, that's prime time. That's a great shot.
That's a bullseye by Manabu Kajiyama. Paul kind of caught off on the left side trying to flex a little forehand. Unfortunately, hits a late tree.
I don't know what disc that was. I don't see him forehand usually. Maybe every once in a while the Firebird, but for the most part it seems like Paul likes to just flick his destroyers. Whereas Rick will flick anything under the sun, doesn't matter. There you go, park job.
Easy as it gets. That guy makes it look very routine on those forehand shots.
Now remember, this is Paul McBeth. This is not out of range.
Nice little toss up there in the circle.
That was a decent bid.
So Eagle back here, a little fast on the third shot. Needs to hit this for par. And a big putt. The leader knocks it down.
Yeah, easy peasy. That was nice and smooth. No problem. He's just getting going this round. Paul follows suit. That's to be expected for Paul. You don't see him. You don't see him leave too many from 25 feet. At least not in the last 5 years.
So there's Rick on pace right now. Birdie 1, 2, and 3 to start the round.
Ricks are walking fast, let me tell you.
So over the last 4 holes, Ricky's actually made up 2 strokes on the leader. Only 1 stroke back at Eagle. Hole number 5.
This is a battle. This is a battle. These guys are playing really, really well. When you see you're only picking up 2 and you're perfect on the cards, you got to keep birdieing if you want to keep pace.
That's championship disc golf for you. Hole number 5, 100 meters, 328 feet. It's a short par 3, but very technical par 3 with a nice read on the angle.
It looked like his compass and maybe just wanted a touch more angle on the turnover there. I don't know, maybe he's trying to play the straight line. Looks like Manabu's trying to turn it, and that was just a little early release there.
So what kind of disc are you throwing on this hole? I see a lot of variance between using a mid-range or using maybe a fairway driver. What's your personal choice on hole number 5?
Right now I'm throwing the Thunderbird just because I didn't bring 1 or 2 of the Eagles that I might play. I don't think the distance is the factor here. It's really just about what you can turn accurately through the gap. You can't really tell on the video, but if you clear past the trees on the right early, it's pretty much open. You can kind of see there, prime example, Eagle just turned it through the gap and has a putt. It wasn't an incredible shot, but he has an opportunity to score.
Eagle going PD on that shot. In previous rounds, he went C-line P2, like putter on this hole. So, like you're saying, you really can throw anything as long as you read the angle and read the finish and then a fade at the end of the shot.
Yeah, a strong mid-range player could definitely make a stable mid-range work on this hole. It's not the distance. Paul with the straddle. Boom! Nice shot.
Talking about it, hitting another big putt outside the circle.
Notice how he just extends straight at the pin there. His putt flies so straight, and it's just because that release brings it just straight forward, really direct.
And it's a standstill straddle putt outside the circle. No jump needed with the velocity and range he's got on his putt.
Sure. Yeah, it's like watching Rick from 70 feet. It's pretty much not fair at this point, you know.
These boys clean up their putts on hole number 5.
I'm surprised to only see 1-2 there.
Yeah, Paul McBeth walks away with the big outside the circle putt, carting the birdie. Everybody else walking away with pars. Hole number 6, 190 meters, 623 feet. A slight uphill par 4 finishing left down a wooded corridor fairway to the basket at the very end. Not a whole lot of beasts stringing around the outside of the fairway, but the big out of bounds area surrounding the golf green in the middle of the fairway.
You got to watch out for that circle. I'm seeing a lot of players play this wide, and then this group is playing the cut roller. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 of us that are playing the cut roller here. There's a branch that is kind of in the way on the tee. Wow, that got right in a hurry. The wind changed a little bit today, so I think
that's over on the fairway of 7. Rick trying to get that same roller he had from yesterday to get at least another look.
Notice how both of those ones stood up. I played my more stable roller today and went left instead of playing the disc that I would normally play. So the wind kind of changed and stuff, especially with the roller. Manabu, just easy shot out there. You know, pitch hyzer.
Trying to toss it up there right side, get long enough so you get the straight second shot down the corridor.
Eagle going boom boom. Man, that reach back is sick.
Yep.
Looks like he's gonna clear off the tee box. That's dirty.
He's been easily clearing this all week in practice rounds and during the tournament rounds, making it look pretty standard on a distant shot off the tee.
And that's the perfect play for Manabu. He's so fluid on those approach shots. He throws very straight, so I don't see him needing to take the risk here. He's gonna get that 3 most of the time.
That's a bullseye by Manabu.
Rick almost jumping
hop,
in,
skip, and a
short.
jump on the forehand shot. Does put it in the circle for a green hit. Looking for the same.
Paul's kind of tied up there on that tree. Oh, looks like that made a difference. He kind of had to short arm that one in a sense. Obviously, he wasn't where he wanted to be, but he's a good scrambler.
So Paul catching a late tree. Another outside the circle putting attempt.
Made every one so far.
And he hits another one.
Count it. Oh, yeah. 4 outside the circle. Now, I don't necessarily consider those that far of putts for Paul. He's solid at that distance. Even though it's outside the circle, maybe that one was 45. The other couple were anywhere from 35 to 40. Those are pretty standard in his wheelhouse. So it's no surprise that he's made 4 of those.
That's 2 in a row on 5 and 6.
Rickster keeping up with the birdie streak. He's only birdied 23 out of the last 24. Well, no. Let me take that back. He had 2 pars, and then he decided to get an eagle and then just birdie out.
The entire lead card, scoring birdies on hole number 6. And you're talking about that stretch right there. I think Ricky just went 19 down on the last 18 holes consecutive if you loop yesterday's round until today. Hole number 7.
That's dumb.
175 feet. Hole number 7, 175 meters, 574 feet. Par 4, not a very long par 4, but it's about position on the shot.
Yeah, look, this hole is, if you don't have a big flick, this hole can be kind of tricky. Because if your backhand comes out too early, then you're having to kind of swoop one around this Mando tree. And the trees are pretty tight on the other side, so to get into the gap is tough if you're outside. That was a severely misplayed shot by Ricky. Definitely uncharacteristic. Now Manabu, I don't see him throw flick very often. That was clean.
Kind of hanging out there a little wide. If you get caught out of position on the shot, though, it's really tough to get that angle trying to throw that down that tunnel in the woods.
Yeah, this one's all about position on the first one, and I think that's what makes it the par 4. Not necessarily the difficulty, just the situation. You have to be able to get down the corridor, or else there's no way you're getting a 3, and you could take a 5. And this hole can bite you if you're off.
Manabu out of position, but making it look really easy with the forehand flex down the tunnel right next to the basket.
Paul doing the patent pending stance and just digging it in there. That wasn't a bad play. I like that play. And you know, Paul's a really smart golfer. He knows that it's soft down by the green and it's probably going to dig out. That was a beautiful little touch off of that tree. I saw Philo make the putt from right there after hitting that tree. So it is makeable from there, but boy, that makes it a lot easier to go about 3 meters away from the pin.
Rick caught tight on the right side of the fairway, scrambling out with a forehand, just trying to get a look.
Paul.
Trying to go 3 in a row
what
from
happened?
distance.
I mean, come on.
Here's Rick.
Rickster.
Both giving valiant bids on this short par 4. Easy tap in for Eagle and Manabu.
Rickster. Not happy with it.
Took a par. Not happy.
Oh, man. Why would he do that? But this is Rick. I mean, Rick hadn't parred in probably 3 hours.
Doing work. They're tapping in, cleaning up on hole number 7. With Eagle and Manabu carding the 3s. Eagle jumps out to a 2-stroke lead over Ricky, 32 to 30.
You can see these guys have really separated themselves. It's impressive. These are impressive scores these guys are putting up. It might look pretty easy on the video. Things are tough out there, and this is where things start to get hot. The course is heating up at this point, literally.
Hole number 8, 90 meters, 295 feet. A short par 3, but tell us about this hole.
This hole is tricky. Just depends on the wind. Again, I think with the left to right, it's far easier to take it outside the tree with the flick. You're seeing these guys just give it a nice little swoop around. I think Eagle's maybe playing the skip in. That didn't skip as much as he would have liked. Wow, so that's close. So
for those watching at home, if you haven't seen these videos before or this hole before, it's OB down the entire left side. This all open area on the fairway is actually out of bounds. So these forehand shots are trying to get him to do a big fan skip out there and finish back to the right to the basket.
Basically, yeah, the shadow line is almost the OB line here. That's a good one from Rick. Just a touch inside, but that should nab him a birdie. If the wind changes, that hole could change substantially. Oh. Well,
Eagle barely gets it back in bounds, gets an outside the circle putt and off the rim right side.
Paul, ching ching. Easy bird there.
No problem.
You can play the skip. You can play the fast driver outside and really bank on a nice big jump with it. So both those guys just played that. That's pretty easy for Rick and Paul there, I think.
Nice forehands all around. Definitely in Rick's wheelhouse to go forehand shot.
Certainly.
So with that birdie there, he gains one back on Eagle with the 3.
Back and forth. These guys are just rolling along. Obviously, Eagle wasn't happy with the miss there, but I'll bet you he was pretty stoked to see his disc in bounds.
Birdies by Ricky, Paul, and Manabu on hole number 8. Hole number 9, 120 meters, 394 feet, par 3, slight downhill, OB stretching down the left side of the fairway entirely around the basket, and that green you can see off to the right, that golf green, that's out of bounds as well. So a very fast green, slight downhill into the pocket around the basket, and it seems like everything that hits any kind of flat angle or hyzer angle skips immediately left.
Yeah, interesting enough, I saw a couple shots today that didn't skip as much as I had expected. Whereas in practice, almost everything that I landed down there skipped to the left. One thing here, the line kind of bends to the left where the basket is to kind of create a circle green. So it gives a little bit of leeway for a skip, but if you come in too aggressive and just barely miss that green, there's a chance you can skip it OB, and then you're dealing with basically a circle's edge putt, which isn't as much fun when you're looking at a headwind. Rickster just playing the nice scooper, easy bullseye.
Dragging it across the green, grabbing the sand and slowing it down enough just to settle by the basket for a bullseye hit.
Eagle playing it high. Looks like the wind's kind of playing some tricks with it, but might have enough angle to just catch. Oh no.
It caught.
Oh, yeah, what is this, oil sand that they put on here?
Yeah, it's trying to keep the dust down, but also it kind of keeps things I guess it lets the ball roll a little better, but it's not a green, it's brown or black.
The disc skip, I know that.
Absolutely.
Paul, what?
Little win?
I'm confused.
We haven't seen that very often from Paul. Didn't miss that one from range. Here's Eagle, a little frustration, a little more velocity on that putt as he taps it out for bogey.
He's feeling it, and he knows that he just let a couple go right there, and obviously he just is one stroke in the lead, and then now he's one back. So
just give up 2 strokes on hole number 9 as Ricky takes the birdie, Eagle takes the bogey, and they flip the lead. As they take a look at the green hits, Ricky taking dominance with a 78% green hit percentage through the front 9. Bullseyes, Manabu. He's been tagging it real close to the basket, 33%, 1/3 of the holes. Inside the circle putting percentage, Ricky, Paul, and Manabu at 100%. Take a look at the outside the circle putts. Paul was absolutely ranging it. 3 outside the circle putts on huge birdies. And 0 penalty. That's how you hang on the lead card. If you want to keep your birdies, no penalties across the board.
These guys aren't making mistakes. They might miss a shot here or there, but very few mistakes from all 4 of them. That was impressive golf.
So that was a front 9. 3rd round, lead card. Exciting golf. I cannot wait to see what happens. Ricky just took the lead on hole number 9, and they still have a whole other half of the round to go, and then a whole other round tomorrow. So I want to thank you, Greg, for joining us tonight. And thanks so much for being a commentator with us.
Yeah,